Attraction is rarely as obvious as movies make it seem. There is no background music, no dramatic confession, no clear signal that says she likes you. In real life, interest often hides behind caution. A woman may feel drawn to you and still behave as if nothing is happening at all, not because she is playing games, but because showing interest carries risk. Risk of rejection, vulnerability, or losing emotional control. In real life, interest often hides behind caution. A woman may feel drawn to you and still behave as if nothing is happening at all. Not because she is playing games, but because showing interest carries risk. Risk of rejection, vulnerability, or losing emotional control. Many men miss these signals entirely. They assume that if she liked them, it would be obvious. So, they interpret neutrality as disinterest and distance as rejection. Meanwhile, she may be carefully managing her behavior, revealing just enough to stay connected while trying not to expose how much she actually cares. Stoic philosophy offers an unexpected lens here. People protect what feels valuable. When emotions deepen, composure often increases rather than decreases. Instead of becoming more expressive, she may become more guarded. Her tone stays casual, her messages measured, her reactions controlled. On the surface, it looks like indifference. Beneath it, tension builds. Another reason attraction is concealed is uncertainty. She may not know how you feel yet, or she may fear appearing too eager. Many people are taught directly or indirectly that revealing too much interest reduces their leverage, so they maintain ambiguity, allowing the connection to grow while protecting their emotional position. Paradoxically, this restraint often creates stronger signals than overt flirting. Because she is trying not to show it, her genuine reactions leak through in subtle ways. A glance that lasts a fraction too long, a sudden change in tone when you enter the room, small acts of attention that don't quite fit the just friends narrative. These moments are easy to dismiss individually, but together they form a pattern. Body language becomes especially revealing. Unlike words, which can be carefully controlled, physical responses are harder to manage. The body reacts before the mind can filter it. She may position herself closer to you without realizing it, mirror your movements, or become unusually attentive when you speak. These behaviors don't announce attraction, they whisper it. In this video, you'll discover the subtle signs that a woman likes you, but is deliberately holding back. Not exaggerated movie cliches, but real-world indicators rooted in psychology and human behavior. Understanding them can prevent missed opportunities and unnecessary doubt because sometimes the strongest interest is not the loudest, it's the one she's trying hardest to hide. Before we start, I want to say something about the quizzes. I see many of you watching but not participating. Don't just watch. Prove you understood. Choose your answer and demonstrate the mindset you're building. These aren't entertainment, they're daily training. Engage consistently and you'll see the difference. Let's dive in. Sign number 1, she watches you when you're not looking. One of the most reliable signs that a woman likes you but is trying not to show it is quiet observation. Instead of openly staring or flirting, she watches from a distance, especially when she thinks you won't notice. This behavior allows her to satisfy curiosity without exposing vulnerability. If you turn and catch her looking, she may immediately look away, pretend to be focused on something else, or act as if nothing happened. Humans naturally monitor people they care about. Attention follows emotional investment. When someone repeatedly checks your presence in a room, tracks your movements, or glances toward you during conversations with others, it signals that you occupy space in their mind even when interaction is not happening. What makes this different from casual noticing is frequency and timing. It happens more than once. It happens when there is no practical reason to look. And it often occurs during moments when you are relaxed, engaged with someone else, or not seeking her attention at all. In those moments, her guard drops slightly because she believes she is unobserved. Stoic composure can intensify this effect. If you are calm, focused, and not constantly scanning for reactions, you appear self-contained. This makes you safer to observe because you are not projecting need or pressure. She can study you without feeling exposed. Your independence becomes part of the attraction, encouraging her curiosity to grow quietly. Eye behavior also reveals emotional spikes. You might notice her eyes linger a fraction longer than normal, soften briefly, or brighten when you speak. These micro-expressions are difficult to fake and even harder to suppress. They occur before conscious control returns. Another tell is pattern consistency. If you repeatedly catch her looking at you across different situations, work, social gatherings, group settings, it suggests sustained interest rather than coincidence. Over time, these small moments accumulate into a clear signal that you matter to her attention system. Importantly, the quick look away is not rejection, it is protection. She does not want to reveal that she was watching because that would expose interest she is trying to keep hidden. The faster the reaction, the more likely it was unintentional. You can confirm this subtly by maintaining your composure. Do not stare back intensely or call attention to it. Simply continue being present. If the behavior repeats, it becomes increasingly unlikely to be random. In many cases, silent observation is the earliest stage of attraction, the moment curiosity begins turning into focus. Sign number 2, her energy changes when you enter. Another strong indicator that a woman likes you but is trying not to show it is a sudden shift in her energy when you arrive. This change can be subtle, but once you notice it, it becomes difficult to ignore. She may sit up straighter, become quieter or more animated, adjust her posture, smooth her hair, or redirect her attention toward the doorway without fully turning. It's as if her body reacts before her mind has time to maintain composure. Humans are highly sensitive to the presence of people who matter to them. When someone significant enters the environment, the nervous system activates slightly. Heart rate changes, attention sharpens, and awareness heightens. She may not consciously decide to react. It happens automatically. The key difference is that she then tries to conceal it, returning to a neutral expression or pretending nothing happened. Sometimes the shift is social rather than physical. She may suddenly laugh louder, speak more, or become unusually engaged with whoever she is talking to. This is not necessarily an attempt to impress you directly, but it signals heightened self-awareness. She knows you are there even if she is not looking at you. In other cases, the opposite occurs. She becomes quieter, more reserved, or focused on something trivial like her phone. This can happen when emotions spike and she is trying to regulate them. Stoic restraint, the instinct to maintain control, often appears as calmness on the surface, while intensity builds underneath. Another revealing moment is the brief glance. Even if she does not turn fully toward you, her eyes may flick in your direction almost immediately after you enter. This quick check confirms your presence. It is subtle enough to go unnoticed by most people, but consistent enough to form a pattern. You might also observe micro-adjustments. She repositions herself so you are within her line of sight, shifts her body angle slightly toward you, or ensures she is visible without appearing to seek attention. These behaviors are unconscious attempts to stay connected to your presence while preserving deniability. What makes this sign meaningful is consistency. If her demeanor changes repeatedly across different situations whenever you appear, it suggests emotional significance rather than coincidence. Your presence disrupts her baseline state. Importantly, this reaction is not about dominance or intimidation. It is about awareness. You become a focal point in her environment, whether she intends it or not. The effort to hide that awareness often amplifies the signal instead of masking it. Sign number 3, she finds reasons to talk to you, even small ones. When a woman likes you but is trying not to show it, direct flirting may feel too risky. Instead, she creates low-pressure opportunities to interact. Casual questions, practical requests, brief comments, or seemingly random observations. On the surface, each interaction looks ordinary, but the frequency and pattern reveal the real intention, staying connected without exposing vulnerability. She might ask for your opinion on something she could easily decide herself. She may bring up minor topics just to start a conversation or approach you with practical excuses, work-related questions, clarifications, or small favors. These interactions often feel unnecessary in isolation, but together they form a clear pattern of intentional contact. What makes this sign distinctive is that the conversations rarely escalate openly. She keeps the tone neutral, sometimes even slightly formal, as if maintaining plausible deniability. If someone were to observe, it would look like normal communication. Yet she continues initiating contact more than circumstances require. Stoic restraint plays a role here. Instead of expressing feelings impulsively, she regulates them. She chooses controlled engagement over emotional exposure. This allows her to test the connection safely. How do you respond? Are you receptive? Do you seem interested without being overwhelming? Each small interaction becomes a quiet data point. Another clue is timing. She often reaches out during moments when interaction is easiest to justify, before meetings, during breaks, or when others are around. This reduces the emotional risk. But even within those safe contexts, she directs her attention toward you specifically. You may also notice that conversations linger slightly longer than necessary. After the practical reason is resolved, she adds a small extra comment, a follow-up question, or a light joke. These extensions are subtle attempts to keep the interaction alive without appearing intentional. Importantly, this behavior is different from politeness. Polite people interact when required. Interested people create reasons to interact. The difference lies in repetition and initiative. If she consistently initiates small exchanges without obvious need, it suggests she values your presence. Your response matters as well. If you remain calm, warm, and unpressured, she feels safer continuing this pattern. If you react too intensely, she may retreat to protect her composure. The balance allows attraction to develop gradually beneath the surface. In many cases, these small conversations are the bridge between silent interest and open connection, the stage where curiosity is quietly turning into emotional investment. Sign number 4, her body turns toward you even when she isn't talking to you. Body orientation is one of the most honest indicators of interest because it is largely unconscious. When a woman likes you, but is trying not to show it, she may control her words and facial expressions, but her body often reveals where her attention truly is. You might notice that her feet, torso, or shoulders angle toward you even when she is engaged in a conversation with someone else. Humans instinctively orient themselves toward what matters. It's a subtle survival mechanism tied to awareness and readiness. If her body keeps pointing in your direction, it suggests that part of her attention is anchored to you regardless of where her eyes or conversation are directed. She may not even realize she's doing it. This can appear in group settings, especially. She stands slightly closer to you than necessary, positions herself within your peripheral vision, or rotates her chair so that you remain in front of her rather than behind. If you move, she may subtly adjust her position. Again, none of these movements are dramatic, which makes them easy to overlook. Yet, their consistency is revealing. Stoic composure on your part can intensify this signal. If you are calm and not actively pursuing her attention, she feels less pressure and more freedom to orient toward you naturally. You become a stable point in the environment. Her body aligns with that point even while her behavior remains controlled. Another variation is mirroring. She may unconsciously copy your posture, leaning when you lean, straightening when you straighten, crossing her legs shortly after you do. Mirroring builds subconscious rapport. It indicates that her nervous system is syncing with yours, a common response when attraction or comfort is present. Physical proximity also matters. She might choose seats near you when other options exist, stand within conversational distance even without speaking, or drift closer during group interactions. This creates opportunities for engagement while maintaining deniability. If questioned, she can attribute it to coincidence. Importantly, orientation toward you does not always mean bold interest. Sometimes it is cautious curiosity. She wants to remain connected to your presence without openly declaring it. The body becomes the compromise between desire and restraint. You can observe this without reacting strongly. Simply notice patterns over time. If her positioning consistently favors you across different contexts, it is unlikely to be accidental. In many cases, body orientation is the silent bridge between hidden attraction and eventual openness, the physical expression of feelings that have not yet been spoken. Sign number 5, she reacts when you give attention to other women. A powerful sign that a woman likes you but is trying not to show it is a subtle emotional shift when your attention moves elsewhere, especially toward another woman. She may not confront you, complain, or make obvious gestures, but her demeanor changes. This reaction is often quick, controlled, and easy to miss unless you're paying attention. Humans are sensitive to perceived competition when something valuable feels at stake. If she has no interest in you, your interactions with others are neutral background events. But if she is emotionally invested, even quietly, your focus on someone else can trigger tension. It's not necessarily jealousy in a dramatic sense, more like heightened awareness mixed with discomfort. The reaction can take many forms. She might become quieter, withdraw slightly, or suddenly engage intensely in another activity. Sometimes she grows more animated, laughing louder or drawing attention to herself without directly interrupting you. In other cases, she avoids looking at you entirely, as if pretending not to notice. These responses differ, but they share one core feature. They occur specifically when your attention shifts away from her. Stoic restraint often amplifies this subtlety. If she is trying to maintain composure, she will suppress obvious reactions. Instead of glaring or confronting, she regulates her expression and posture. The tension leaks out in micro behaviors, tightened lips, crossed arms, sudden stillness, or forced neutrality. Because these signals are small, they feel more authentic than exaggerated displays. Another revealing moment is recovery. Once your attention returns to her or the situation stabilizes, her energy often resets. She becomes warmer, more relaxed, or more engaged. Again, this rapid change suggests that your focus plays a role in her emotional state, even if she never acknowledges it. Importantly, this behavior is not about possession. It's about relevance. She wants to matter in your awareness. When that relevance feels threatened, her nervous system responds automatically. The effort to hide that response indicates she does not want to reveal vulnerability. You can observe this pattern over time rather than testing it deliberately. Natural social situations provide enough information. If her mood repeatedly fluctuates in sync with your attention, it suggests deeper investment than she is openly admitting. In many cases, this is the moment hidden attraction becomes visible, not through affection, but through the difficulty of remaining indifferent. Sign number 6. She shows care in subtle, casual ways. When a woman likes you but is trying not to show it, her care often appears disguised as normal friendliness. She won't openly fuss over you or express concern in an obvious way, but she will pay attention to your needs, comfort, and well-being more than the situation requires. These actions are easy to dismiss individually, yet together they reveal quiet investment. She might remember small details you mentioned in passing, your favorite drink, a stressful deadline, something you were worried about, and bring them up later as if it were nothing. She may check whether you got home safely, ask if you've eaten, or notice when you seem tired or distracted. The tone stays light, almost matter of fact, so it doesn't sound overly personal. Stoic restraint often shapes how this care is expressed. Instead of emotional language, she uses practical gestures. Offering help with something, sharing useful information, or doing small favors allows her to show interest without exposing vulnerability. It's affection translated into action rather than words. Another clue is selectivity. She may be kind to many people, but the depth of attention she gives you is different. She anticipates your needs, not just responds to them. For example, she might bring something she knows you'll appreciate without being asked, or adjust plans to accommodate you while presenting it as coincidence. Timing matters as well. These gestures often occur when you are slightly stressed, quiet, or withdrawn. She steps in gently, not dramatically. The goal is to support you without making the interaction emotionally heavy. If you thank her, she may downplay it or change the subject quickly, as if she doesn't want the focus on her effort. This behavior stems from attachment. When someone matters to us, we monitor their state and feel motivated to ease discomfort. Even if she is trying to remain neutral outwardly, her empathy leaks through in small acts of consideration. Importantly, this is different from general politeness. Polite behavior is situational. Caring behavior is consistent. If she repeatedly demonstrates attentiveness specifically toward you across different contexts, it suggests genuine interest. Your response can either nurture or shut down this dynamic. Calm appreciation without excessive intensity reassures her that her effort is welcomed but not spotlighted. Overreaction might make her retreat to protect her composure. In many cases, quiet care is one of the clearest signs of hidden attraction. Affection expressed safely without risking emotional exposure. Sign number 7, she stays connected even when there's no reason to. The final and perhaps most revealing sign is quiet persistence. A woman who likes you but is trying not to show it will find ways to remain in your orbit even when there is no clear need. She doesn't disappear, drift away, or let the connection fade naturally. Instead, she maintains a subtle thread of contact, occasional messages, reactions, brief check-ins, or simply showing up in spaces where she knows you'll be. On the surface, each interaction looks harmless and casual, but the continuity is what matters. People do not invest time and attention repeatedly without a reason. If she keeps the connection alive despite minimal necessity, it suggests that losing it would matter to her. This persistence often appears low intensity. She may not initiate deep conversations or overt plans, but she ensures you don't become strangers. A short reply to your story, a quick comment on something you posted, a friendly greeting when you cross paths. These small signals function like emotional placeholders. They say, "I'm still here," without explicitly stating interest. Stoic restraint again shapes the expression. Instead of dramatic pursuit, she opts for controlled continuity. She stays present without appearing eager. This protects her from rejection while preserving the possibility of something more. Another variation is physical presence. She might attend events she knows you'll attend, linger in shared environments longer than necessary, or position herself where interaction is likely but not forced. If conversation happens, it feels spontaneous. If not, she was just there. This creates opportunities without pressure. Consistency across time is the key indicator. Anyone can reach out once out of boredom or politeness. Repeated contact, especially after gaps, signals intentionality. She is not letting the connection die, even if she is not actively escalating it. Importantly, this behavior often coexists with restraint in other areas. She may avoid obvious flirting, deep emotional disclosure, or direct expressions of interest. The connection advances slowly, almost invisibly, but it does not vanish. Your calm, steady responses reinforce safety. If you are warm without overwhelming her, she can maintain this quiet closeness comfortably. If you push for clarity too quickly, she may retreat to preserve control. In many cases, this sustained presence is the strongest sign of hidden attraction. Interest can be masked, but investment leaves traces over time. Someone who doesn't care eventually disengages. Someone who cares finds reasons to stay. In short, when a woman likes you but is trying not to show it, the truth rarely appears in one dramatic moment. It emerges through patterns, small repeated behaviors that don't quite fit the narrative of indifference. A glance that happens too often to be random. A shift in energy that appears every time you enter. Conversations that start for no real reason. Quiet care, subtle reactions, persistent presence. Individually, each sign can be dismissed. Together, they tell a story. Attraction hidden behind composure is not weakness, it is protection. Showing interest exposes vulnerability, and not everyone is ready to risk that immediately. Stoic restraint, the desire to maintain emotional control, often intensifies as feelings deepen. Instead of becoming obvious, she becomes careful. Instead of chasing, she observes. Instead of confessing, she stays close enough that something can grow without forcing it. This is why awareness matters more than interpretation of any single signal. You are not looking for certainty. You are looking for consistency. Genuine interest sustains itself across time and situations. It does not vanish when circumstances change. If she continues to invest attention, energy, and presence while maintaining plausible deniability, it suggests that the connection matters to her more than she is willing to admit. Another important shift is internal. When you recognize these signs, you no longer need to overanalyze or chase reassurance. You can remain calm, grounded, and responsive rather than reactive. Your composure creates safety, allowing her to lower her guard gradually instead of retreating. Attraction often grows strongest in environments where neither person feels pressured to perform. Stoic philosophy would frame this as patient observation. You do not force outcomes. You align with reality as it unfolds. If her actions consistently move toward you, there is no need for dramatic tests or ultimatums. Interest that is real will surface in time. If it does not, you still maintain your dignity because you did not invest blindly. Ultimately, hidden attraction is less about what she says and more about where her attention lives. People reveal what matters to them through time, focus, and behavior, even when words remain neutral. You don't need to decode every gesture. Just watch where she keeps returning, because someone who is truly indifferent moves away. Someone who feels something even quietly finds a way to stay. Remember, knowledge means nothing without action. If you're ready to rise above emotion and lead with purpose, join the community today at the link below. Enroll once, grow forever.